Mustard gas, also known as sulfur mustard or dichlorodiethyl sulfide, is a highly toxic chemical agent that was first used as a weapon of war during World War I. This noxious liquid, which earned its name from its distinctive yellow-brown color and pungent odor akin to mustard, would go on to have a devastating impact on the battlefield and beyond. The origins of mustard gas can be traced back to 1860, when British chemist Frederick Guthrie first synthesized the compound. However, it was not until World War I that mustard gas would be weaponized and deployed on a large scale. In 1917, the German army launched the first major mustard gas attack near Ypres, Belgium, targeting British and Canadian soldiers. This marked the beginning of a new and horrific chapter in the history of chemical warfare. Mustard gas is classified as a vesicant, meaning it causes severe blistering of the skin and mucous membranes upon contact. When released, the liquid quickly evaporates into a dense, heavy vapor that clings to the ground and seeps into the hidden recesses of trenches and other military positions. Exposure to the gas can result in a delayed onset of symptoms, with victims often unaware of their exposure until the blisters and burns begin to appear. The effects of mustard gas exposure are truly devastating. The chemical agent targets the eyes, respiratory system, and skin, causing intense pain, blindness, and severe chemical burns that can lead to permanent disfigurement and disability. In the most extreme cases, high-level exposure can be fatal, with victims succumbing to respiratory failure or systemic organ damage. The use of mustard gas during World War I was a watershed moment in the history of warfare. It marked a shift away from traditional battlefield tactics and the introduction of indiscriminate area denial weapons that could inflict horrific casualties on soldiers and civilians alike. The Allies, including the United States, France, and the United Kingdom, quickly developed their own mustard gas capabilities in response to the German attacks, leading to a deadly arms race. In the aftermath of World War I, the international community sought to address the growing threat of chemical weapons. The 1925 Geneva Protocol prohibited the use of chemical and biological weapons in war, but it did not address the production, stockpiling, or development of such agents. This loophole allowed countries like the Soviet Union and the United States to continue their research and development of mustard gas and other chemical weapons. Despite the Geneva Protocol, mustard gas continued to be used in subsequent conflicts, including by Japan against China during World War II and by Iraq against Iran during the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s. The devastating effects of these attacks, which often targeted civilian populations, further highlighted the need for stronger international regulations and enforcement. In 1993, the Chemical Weapons Convention was established, which banned the development, production, stockpiling, and use of chemical weapons, including mustard gas. This landmark agreement has led to the destruction of vast stockpiles of chemical agents and the closure of many production facilities around the world. However, the legacy of mustard gas extends beyond its use as a weapon of war. Ironically, the research conducted on the toxic effects of mustard gas during the 20th century also led to its application in the field of medicine. In the 1940s, scientists discovered that mustard agents could be used to treat certain types of cancer, leading to the development of chemotherapy drugs derived from these compounds. Today, while the threat of mustard gas has diminished, the specter of its use by rogue states or terrorist organizations remains a concern. The persistent environmental contamination and the potential for the diversion of stockpiled materials continue to pose challenges for the international community. Vigilance and a steadfast commitment to the principles of the Chemical Weapons Convention are essential to ensuring that the horrors of mustard gas are never repeated. The history of mustard gas serves as a sobering reminder of the devastating consequences of the weaponization of science and the importance of upholding international laws and norms to prevent the use of such indiscriminate and inhumane weapons. As the world continues to grapple with the legacy of this toxic agent, the lessons learned must inform our efforts to build a more peaceful and secure global order.